Let me send this out. Good morning. I hope that y'all are well. Come on in, come on in. Happy Monday. I hope that y'all are well. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly while I send this out really quickly. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. And also let me know where you're watching from. I'm trying to make sure I send this out to everyone. Any single two. Hi there. Where are y'all watching from today? Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Today we're going to be talking about the feminine nervous system is not a machine. We're going to be talking about how the feminine nervous system is not a machine. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, I DM'd you for the wealth magnetism. Awesome. Do you want me to send you, I'm going to check it and see. Did you email, did you message me so I can send you the link, or were you telling me that you got it? Which one? Because I want to make sure. Hey, Pennsylvania. Hey, Texas. Come on in, come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Today we're talking about how the feminine nervous system is not a machine. So come on in, come on in. Y'all, it's a little gloomy, so I'm by the window and I have some more light. But it's about to rain. It's a very strange June with this weather, but I'm not even going to get into all of that. But come on in, come on in. Today we're talking about how the feminine nervous system is not a machine. I'm going to break down who this live is for and who this live is not for, so everybody who's in the room can make sure they're in the right room. Okay, I binge your content because I resonate so much. Thank you. I appreciate that very much so. Okay, because they girl, I don't want to say too much, but yeah. It's quite interesting for June, for sure. But yeah. Come on in as we talk about how the feminine nervous system is not a machine. Make sure that you share this with another amazing woman who is operating in business. If you don't know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a mentor to women of wealth and influence. You'll always see me playing around with my hair and my bangs for sure. I'm a mentor to women of wealth and influence, and what I do specifically is I support my amazing clients who are high-performing women. I help them regulate their emotions. I help them restore their power so that they can lead, earn, and attract from energetic alignment. That is what I do. So specifically, what does that look like? What do we actually do here in this particular company? What we do is that we support you in rebuilding your nervous system. Why is it so very important? If you have not rebuilt your nervous system, you're probably still running off the programming of childhood, and that is something you probably don't want to do because that's going to interfere with where you're trying to go, okay? So we help you rebuild your nervous system. We help you rebuild your offers. Y'all hear the ducks? They come out around this time. It's either the ducks or birds. We help you rebuild your offers, we help you rebuild your nervous system, and we help you rebuild your influence from a place of softness, sovereignty, and strategy, which literally is according to your feminine design, okay? So that is what we do. Why is that so important? It's because it eliminates burnout. And the burnout is the reason why a lot of women are being pushed into autoimmune disease. Burnout is a lot of the reason why women are exhausted. But a lot of things that women don't realize, or one thing particular that women don't realize, is that burnout is a symptom of what's actually happening on the inside of you. It is your belief that has you thinking you have to do any and everything, okay? It is your belief that has you feeling like you have to do any and everything when in reality you don't. Women who struggle with burnout are women who often struggle to prioritize self first. And so when women come to work with me, they understand in order for them to jump. I don't know if you're trying to jump from $0 to $10,000. That's a specific set of work that you have to do. If you're trying to jump from $10,000 to $100,000, that is a set of work that you have to do. If you want to jump from $100,000 to $500,000, that's a different set of work that you have to do. So you have to understand is that at every level, work is required. Work is required. And so a lot of people are saying things like, oh, I need to I need to do this. I need to heal before I do this, heal before I do that. I don't know where the concept came from that you have to heal 100%, which is something that you cannot do while you're on this earth. Because as long as you're on this earth, there's always going to be something. Okay? So this whole I am healed aspect of it, and you're thinking, oh, I have to be healed in order to start my business. I have to be healed to enter into new community. I have to be healed to enter into new relationship. What people are not realizing is that you have to heal through the process. And a lot of you don't realize, as far as like healing in regard to relationships, you don't know you're healed until you start actively dating again and getting back into relationships, creating relationship again. So there's no such thing, as much as y'all may feel like it is, okay? There is no such thing as that. Okay, love, I'll make sure to DM you the link. But you can click the link in the bio. There's a link in the bio. And if you scroll all the way down, you'll see magnetic wealth. But let me know if you don't see it and I'll shoot it to you. Okay? So I need women to really, really understand the importance of leading, earning, and attracting from energetic alignment. A lot of us have been earning, leading, and attracting from performance, and because you've been doing it from performance, it's not sustainable. A lot of women who have built six-figure businesses or have six-figure salaries, I talk to them all of the time, and they talk about how they built their businesses and built themselves off of, working hard, hustling, and all of that, and they've realized that they cannot be everything for everyone while leaving nothing for themselves. Because that is what I'm seeing happen. So this whole wide rush of people coming in with this whole generational wealth mindset and all of these things, you are taking that mindset into something and you're trying to hustle your way to the top, and it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Hustle by definition means to swindle, which means to steal. The hustle steals your time, it steals your energy, it steals your attention, and it does this by making you feel like you're going to get more money when in reality you are pushing money actually further away from you. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. I'm gonna give you. I didn't even think I was gonna give y'all this, but I'm gonna give y'all this before I get into the nervous system and why this is so important. I had a really good friend of mine who's a colleague call me yesterday and say, hey, I'm having an issue around some money blocks and I kind of need to talk through it. And one thing about me is I don't believe in ceilings. I understand that there are blocks, but we create these blocks. So I support women in being able to remove blocks. If I don't do nothing else, baby, I'm going to remove the block because I can see the pattern. So, and that's because of my gift, praise the Most High. So she was like, I'm making money, like people are coming in and they paying me, but as soon as I get the money, something happens. It's snatching. I had one client to turn around and dispute, snatched a big amount. I had something else to happen where I got paid and if something happened and something else happened and it snatched that amount. And I had it happen several times throughout the week. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what is this pattern? Like, it got to be sometimes. She's talking to me. And so I'm smiling because I'm listening to her because I recognize the pattern because I've also had the pattern. I've had to undo the pattern. So she was just like, I'm not figuring, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm doing this and I'm like, God, what is it? What's wrong? And I said, that's okay. So you're getting money, but you can't keep the money, right? In your hand, you can't hold it. And she was like, correct. I said, okay. So I want you to go back because that's an energetic root. And I need you to figure out what point in your life, especially childhood, did you experience lack and abundance? I said, because I just heard you say that you need to hurry up and create something because you're trying to get money, which lets me know that there's a sense of urgency. One thing that you need to understand about money is this. Money likes speed, but money is not in a rush. Money likes speed, which means that if you want to catch money's attention, you have to already be prepared. But money is not in a rush. When you are in a rush, you are operating outside of your feminine core because the feminine is never in a rush. The feminine understands that she is always provided for. The feminine understands that she is always cared for. The feminine understands that she is always covered. So what is the urgency? What is the rush? When you are in a state of urgency, you're moving from the energetics of fear. And when you're moving from the energetics of fear, that means that there is something rooted in lack. So we have a block of lack within the body. And that is what we need to address. And so I gave her some things to go ahead and address the pattern of in, out, in, out, in, out. And I broke it down, and she was like, oh my God, I never had anyone really explain it to me. The thing about, because money is a flow. And a lot of people don't understand that, which is why people have a very hard time holding money. Because getting money is very easy to do. It's very easy to manifest money. It's very easy to, make a lot of money in life, make a lot of money in business. It's not that easy to make money from strategic alignment, because you got to set boundaries. It's not that easy to make money from alignment for some people, because you're going to have to lose some people that's in your space that don't belong, that's going to sabotage the money. See, when you are stepping into the fullness or the energetics of I want to make more money in my business, I want to call in more money, you're required to come up. Because money only locks in with you for 3 reasons. Number 1, there has to be alignment present. Number 2, there has to be perceived value in order for you to receive said money. And then 3, it has to be a high vibrational state. Your energetics have to be proper in order for you to receive and actually hold money. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. What people don't understand about money is this. Okay? Money, there are 3 levels to it, right? The first level is getting money. Anyone can get money. A robber can get money. If you work a 9 to 5, if you ever worked a 9 to 5, you've gotten money before. Okay? If somebody give you $20, you get money. So to get money is the lowest level when it comes down to the energetics of money, okay? So then we're in the second level. The second level is those who hoard money. Yes, it will. Those who hoard money. The people who hoard money normally have a history of loss or neglect, or kind of like a poverty-stricken upbringing. So they'll spend money, but they have to leave a certain amount of money in their account. They'll spend money, or they'll hold on to money so tight to the point to where they hoard it. Money does not like to be restricted. Money likes to expand, because money is a natural flow. If you don't believe me, I want you to look at the terms of how people refer to money. Why is your money kept in a bank, a river bank? Money is currency, a current. It flows. So the language is all around you, and they don't really tell you the spiritual aspect, the true understanding of how money really works, because they don't want you to be able to sustain it, which is to hold it. But if you are a person who holds things, who's always doing this, you can't receive when you always have something in your hand. So normally with those type of individuals, what ends up happening is that money is normally snatched from you, because you're so afraid that money is going to leave you anyway, because you're so afraid to going back to that poverty-stricken state when you were a child. That is the fear rooted behind that. So you hoard money, you hold money, you keep it really tight, and because of that, you can't receive and you can't keep. That's the second level of money. You have the third level of money, where you understand that money is an investment. So as soon as you get it, you give it. And I'm not speaking in a sense like, oh, as soon as you get the money, you automatically giving it to charity. What I'm saying is, when you get the money, you understand where it's going. Every time you spend something, you understand it's an investment. How is this investment going to support you and take you to the next level? When you do that, you make more money. And if you don't believe me, let's use an example. Let's just say you really got serious about the gym and about working out. I used to be 100 pounds heavier. I have no judgment for those who struggle with their weight, because like I said, I used to be over 100 something pounds heavier, and I get it. But let's just say, for example, you decided it was your birthday, and hi lovey, and you're going to invest in going to the gym. Okay? And you invest top dollar, and you not only going to the gym, but you invest top dollar, and you investing in a personal trainer, okay? You spending that money to invest in that personal trainer is going to make you better. That is an investment into yourself. You investing in a program or a service that is going to support you, hey Bay Area, hey UK, that's going to support you in becoming more spiritually rooted, emotionally grounded, and mentally stable in a psychotic, crazy society. That's an investment for your well-being. So when you are investing in yourself, you become better. And when you become better, things get better, you attract better, and you're able to hold better. But the problem comes into play is because a lot of people don't really invest in themselves. And the truth of the matter is this: you don't invest in yourself and your development because you don't see the value in it, which truthfully tells the story of how you don't see the value in yourself. And when you don't see the value in yourself, you will overextend yourself, you will overfunction, you will overexhaust yourself, which brings me into today's topic. The feminine nervous system, okay, is not a machine. And we're going to talk about it today. I'm going to break it down for you because you need a better understanding of how you work so that you can work. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these gifts. I always say all of the time, as a woman on this earth, you need to thrive. And in order to thrive, you're going to need to be rooted in 3 key areas. Okay? 3 key areas. All right? So the first area is spiritual law. Okay? Spiritual law for me looks like scripture. The reason why it's very important for a woman to know spiritual law is because you can create your own reality. Women, we get power and source from the earth. We understand how to work the earth, how to tend to the earth. When Eve got here, she actually had a position. She had plots of land in heaven. Y'all need to go read the Ethiopian Bible and the Apocryphal, and you will find out she had areas in heaven that she watched. She tended to the land. So we literally know how to work the land. That we are extremely powerful in that space. So when you understand how to manipulate, which is truly your nature, there are 2 sides of manipulation. The feminine, and I want to be very clear when I say this, and I'll back it up with scripture because, like I said, everything I teach you is going to come from scripture, science, and psychology. The feminine nature at core is manipulative. Now, you can try to play the game and act like you're the good girl and you're not the one who does. You're not manipulative, but the reality of the situation is that is your core. Right? Men have a core, and I'm not going to discuss their core at the moment, but at core, women are manipulative. Manipulation, by definition, or to manipulate by the word, is not a bad word. There are 2 sides of the coin of manipulation when it comes down to the definition. One side of manipulation basically means to manage and to utilize skillfully. Okay? If you know how to manage and utilize resources on the earth skillfully, then you can create a new reality when you know how to manipulate energy in that way. But if the only way that you know how to manipulate energy as an energy in motion, the emotions of other people, is by you changing your form, by you being heinous, and you being emotionally shape-shifting in order to get to your own advantage, seeking your own way. There are 2 sides, like I said, of the manipulation coin. If you are a woman who has not risen above her authentic nature, because it tells you in scripture in Jeremiah that the heart of man is deceitful. I know you think you're a good person. Let's talk about it. When that person randomly comes and hits you in the face, what is the first reaction that you want to do? You want to defend yourself. You want to fight. You want to come up for blood, right? That's the right thing that you should do, right? Society may not necessarily agree because apparently in some instances, if you put your hand on people, that's the wrong thing for you to do. The only thing, and I love Marvel movies, right? I love the movie. My favorite Marvel movie of all time is Doctor Strange. And it's because I'm a nerd and I like science and I like metaphysics and I understand universally how things work and how all these things are stated in scripture, backed up by science and literally backed up by psychology as well. And one of the things that the woman said in Doctor Strange is, she said, we never really defeat our demons. We learn to live above them. When someone does something to you, your initial reaction is to get back. Your initial reaction is to retaliate. Unless you have risen above your nature and known how to live above your demons, if you don't know how to transmute the energy of jealousy into something else, it is going to destroy you. If you see another woman winning and you get offended by that, You need to acknowledge the fact that you got offended by that, but the way that you rise above your nature is by saying that I am created in the likeness and the character of the Most High, and I have my own lane of dominion. There is no need for me to covet or to be jealous of what she has or what she's doing or what she's experiencing, because I have my own piece of the pie. But see, if you don't know how to rise above your nature, you're going to be jealous. You're going to compare. You're going to do all of these things that is going to cause you problems. Cause you problems. You are not a good person at core. None of us are. And if you want to keep telling yourself that BS, go for it. But you are not fooling anyone. Because everyone is exactly who they are, and you really who you are when you pressed up, when there's some pressure applied. See, pressure reveals character. It reveals character. And women have to understand that. So at core, we're manipulative. We're emotionally manipulative. We're emotionally shape-shifting until you rise above that. And we're like that when we're little girls. What's the whole saying? She got her daddy wrapped around her finger. We know when we small. Just like men at core are natural exploiters and testers. They're going to explore. Tell your son don't touch the doggone, the eye. He gonna look at you and try to put his hand up there and touch the eye and test the boundaries. That is what they do. They naturally exploit. Exploit by definition is not necessarily a bad word, but there are two sides of the coin of the word exploit. One aspect of exploit is to make deep, productive use of. There is nothing wrong with a man who is exploiting in that type of energy, because he's going to make deep, productive use of his resources, the people in his life, which requires depth. And depth requires a level of devotion that most are not prepared for. So a man who lives above his core nature does not exploit people. He exploits systems. And a woman who has risen above her core nature does not manipulate people. She manipulates energy. That is what she does. But see, when you don't know yourself and you don't know your core and you think you're living above your demons when y'all are residing on the same level, you can't see past your reality. This is why, again, women should know spiritual law so that you can create your own reality. This entire universe is governed by law. Law. You manipulate energy every day. This is a manipulation of energy. You manipulate energy every day. It's about the energy you want returned to you, because what it says in law is that whatever a man sows, ye shall reap. I choose to, how can I say this? I choose for my energy to always feel and imprint or impact value. Value. Okay? So if I continue to sow value into the world, into people, into the universal algorithm, into everything that I experience, value is always going to be returned unto me. That doesn't necessarily mean that just because I gave value to this person, that this person is going to give me the value back. The value may come to me in another form. The value may come to me in another person, but the value is going to be returned unto me. Okay? And because I have that understanding, I don't overexert myself. I don't feel like anyone owes me anything once I've willingly given access to, to myself, to them. And a lot of women sit in a state of blame because they're not taking responsibility for self. And one way for you to take responsibility for self is to understand that you are not a machine. Your body is not designed that way. And you have to shift. You have to shift if you want to create a new reality for yourself. The second thing that has to happen, and what we're going to talk about more so today, is the understanding the science of yourself. Okay? So understanding the science of yourself means you're not working against your feminine design. You're not working against your design. Notice I didn't say your nature, I said your design. That's your uniqueness. This requires a level of investigation. See, investment, I think women ask a lot of questions about how they can get men and other people to invest in them. But you are missing the very key thing when it comes down to investment. One, muses are always invested in because they are sources of inspiration and walking art. But what you're missing around why people may not be investing in you is that you're missing the first part of it's invest, but then I want you to think about investigate. You are not investigating yourself enough to authentically embody your value in order to articulate your value. And people, so this is why people don't see your value. And this is why they don't invest in you, because they don't see value. And like I said, money locks in with high vibrational state, money, value, and alignment. Any one of those being off, money is not interested at all. And I want you to even think about the concept for yourself. If you don't see value in a product or service, if you don't think it's in alignment with where you are in your life right now, if it's not going to put you in a better situation or make you feel good, why would you give your money? Why would you give your money? It's the exact same thing. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. So you got to understand the science of yourself by understanding the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle. Not only understanding the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle, but how to do life, how to do in relationships, and how to do business according to your authentic rhythm. You don't even know how you operate. If you don't know how you operate, then you can't articulate the things that you fully need. And if you're not articulating what you need, I know you're not being fulfilled because you're not being honest due to lack of awareness. Okay? So that understanding the science of yourself is for you to not work against yourself. The reason why women are leading in heart disease and leading in all these illnesses is because we work against our feminine design. We work against our own bodies. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. And working against your own body is costly. Okay? So understanding the science of yourself so you don't exhaust yourself, so you actually have the energy, the time, and the attention for the things that are your assignment. The problem is you're paying attention to the wrong thing. You're trying to work you're trying to do extra credit when none of those things are going to get you where you need to be. Doing someone else's homework is not going to support you. Focus on your own. A man had asked a question, and it was a very powerful question. And he said, a lot of divorces are initiated by women. Why do you think that is? And I said, women don't really understand what they are getting themselves into when they are getting married. They have a very, thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. They have a very fairy tale idea of what marriage is, and they are shocked when the fairy tale is burned down in their face. And then he asked, what do you feel that women need to be taught in order to, get prepared for marriage? And I said, well, number one, she needs to recognize that she is walking down the aisle to an altar, and an altar is where sacrifices are made. See, if we see, and this is all the people that say that they Christians and they believers and all of that and da 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 da. See, let's get into it. I do offer one-on-one sessions. The link is in my bio. The thing is this, though. You need to understand when you are walking down the aisle, sweetheart, you are walking to an altar. Altars are where sacrifices are made. Have you forgotten the altar that Abraham was building when he thought he was going to have to take his son down? Do you not pay attention? Do you not pay attention to that? Do you miss that? And you think the marriage is supposed to be about you? Why do you think that Paul said it's better for you not to be married? See, y'all don't be telling the full truth. Y'all don't be they're not teaching you the full truth. Paul tells you, see, because when you come into that and you go to that altar, something, you know what gets sacrificed? A part of you has to die. But see, y'all not ready for that because you still I want my freedom. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do this. You can't run free, but also want to be covered. You can't run wild and free like a horse And then, but you're trying to figure out why nobody won't come saddle up with you. No. A lot of you don't realize you are walking down the aisle to an altar. And an altar is for sacrificing. And if you are not, a part of you is not ready to die to come into this. Because do you understand that you are joining bloodlines? See, y'all don't take it serious enough for me. And that's the crazy part. You're joining bloodlines. Y'all walking down, you going to an altar where there is a sacrifice taking place. There is a joining of blood. Y'all not hearing me. Y'all take it too light. And I could tell you this because I didn't know either. And I took it light when I got married. I didn't know. But I found out. If you're not ready to die to self and you're not ready to serve, you're not ready. You don't go to the altar. Don't come to the altar. Because that's a covenant. And when you consecrate the marriage, it's a breaking of blood. That's why y'all. And you down there talking in your feelings, all crying and playing whoever on the song. And y'all get on, we just loving for the marriage. Y'all. You don't know what you're doing. Number one, that's an altar where sacrifices is happening. And number two, the second thing that I said to him was, also when it comes down to marriage, women need to understand the intentionality, the responsibility, the accountability that goes into the work that you have to do for yourself. And if you don't do any of those things, if you don't have the intentionality, the responsibility, the accountability in the relationship with yourself, thank you, my love, for these follows and these likes, then you are not fit to work in a group team project, because marriage is a team project. How are you failing in school and think just because they pair you with a partner that you're going to get an A in the class and you don't do your own work? You need to understand the intentionality, the responsibility, that accountability that comes with a relationship that you have with self, because when you understand that, you will further understand the intentionality, the accountability, that responsibility that goes into doing work with someone else. Y'all ain't ready for what you claiming that you want. Stop asking for stuff that you are not prepared for. Wake up from the fairy tale. Men are human and so are you. And you always meet yourself. So if you think you better than the one you laying with, you ain't. So you really need to think long and hard before you walk down the aisle to sacrifice at an altar and make a blood covenant that y'all gonna do life. Huh? You didn't look at it like that, did you? You just thought, oh, cute white dress at the aisle, smiling. We love God. Okay. I gotta have this. Okay. That's why a lot of women are initiating divorces. So the whole women are carrying the brunt of what's happening emotionally in the relationship. That's a choice. Get into it. And you didn't just start doing that in a marriage. You was already doing that beforehand. Because what you got to understand about marriage is this. When you get into it, everything that's popping within you, everything that's popping within them is going to be multiplied and magnified. So if you was cheating before, baby, he finna have a team on you when y'all get married. The problem is you think that a ring and a title changes people. Check in with your local pastor who be scamming folks, the one that's the scammer in the neighborhood. What is his title doing? What about the ones who have these heavy titles who are clearly out here being dishonorable in the name of the Most High? What about what does that title look like then? Y'all think people change for a title? Huh? It is revealed who they are. See, that's the thing. It's just revealed. They get comfortable. Y'all think things are going to shift and change when you say I do. Ma'am, a fool is as a fool does, even with a ring on. So when I say stop working against your feminine design, chasing people who don't invest in you, trying to overcompensate and overfunction so somebody will pick you and choose you, whether that's in life, business, or relationships. All of these things are working against your feminine design and throwing your body into hormonal imbalance. People pleasing, code switching, all of that throws your body out of balance. Because you are literally wearing a mask to try to keep the peace or a perception up so people will accept you. Don't piss me off. And it is beneath you. Because you have a uniqueness to your own self. But because you are so caught up in everything and everyone else, you don't even see that. And you talking about why nobody want to give you no money, why nobody want to invest in you. They don't see value. Because you don't present value. And the only value you present is what you can do. I work hard. I could do this. I could help you do that. I could help you do this. It's all about what you can perform. See, this is why I say what I say when it comes down to women and men. See, a man ain't... One thing about me, I ain't performing for no man. If I don't want to do it, I ain't doing it. If you have the leadership in this and I can adhere and do, I ain't got no problem with it. But what I don't do is perform. And you know why I don't perform? Because there's always going to be another woman willing to put on the show and be a circus. I don't do circuses. I'm not going to be a circus for you. I don't perform. My boundaries are my boundaries. If you don't, and what's the saying y'all love to say? If you ain't going to do it, somebody else going to do it. Oh, I know. That's why I clap at that. Somebody gonna always do it. Somebody gonna always be at the bottom of the barrel. Somebody gonna always be willing to put on a mask and shuck and jive and put on a minstrel show so somebody else can be happy. It just ain't gonna be me. Because that type of performance makes you sick. That type of performance you can't sustain. You can't keep wearing that mask. It's going to fall off. And then that's when we crash out. Then that's when we have nervous breakdowns. Then that's when we start telling the truth about how nobody, was there for us and all of that. See, it's always interesting to me when I see women get online and they brag so much about the men that they have been with, and then they turn around and talk about how they've been funding the whole thing and it was just an act and they was holding up an image. Why are you out here presenting a perception that isn't reality? Not thinking that you're going to be exposed. You always meet yourself. You always meet yourself. You are never above your program. And if you have not reset your nervous system, you doggone sure not above your program. You still running around here like a grown little girl on the inside. It's a lot of women walking around like that. A lot. And it's all because they've allowed their nervous system to become a machine. So let me tell you that this live is for the woman who understands and loves the work that she does, but at times she still feels fried, she feels foggy, or she feels inflamed after a launch. Because I'm going to really get into the science of your cycle. Because a lot of y'all are sick and don't even know it. Don't even know it. I had a 22-year issue with the cycle. When I was 20, nobody was talking about polycystic ovarian syndrome in 2004, but I was being diagnosed with it in the doctor's office. And they were telling me all these things and telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I'm getting down and I'm doing this and I'm having irregular cycles and all these things are happening. They want me to try this. They want me to do this. They want me to do that. But when I listen to the Most High, I got myself all the way together. I don't have those symptoms anymore. I'm 41 years old and my cycle is no longer than 4 days. I don't have a bunch of cramping. I don't be sick. I don't be out here looking crazy. I don't have iron issues. I don't have vitamin D issues. I don't have any of these things. And I'm 41 years old. But when I was in my 20s and in my 30s, I was struggling. And it was because I was running my nervous system like it was a machine. I was hella in my masculine. I was pushing. I was chasing. I was going after. I was achieving. I am the oldest daughter. That should say it all. So here I am with the cape on my back, but also at the same time with the knife in my own chest. Because I can't keep up the image of having it all together. And truthfully, nobody does. So why are you doing that? What is the reason? What is the point? This is also for the high functioning creative who secretly crashes mid-cycle. This is for the visionary whose calendar doesn't honor her hormones, her womb, or her wave. This is for the coach, the strategist, the healer, or the founder who can't seem to figure out why alignment still feels off for her. This is not for the woman who is trying to out-discipline her body. This is not for the entrepreneur addicted to the sameness, hustle, and constant input. I don't teach my clients to hustle. We catch bags over here. We don't chase them. My track record is my track record. I got one client right now. She's on track for her first 6-figure year. Started out when we first met, she was charging $250, baby. After our meeting, a month after our meeting, she started making between $8,200 and $9,500 a month. She on track. She had to stop taking business recently. I've been stopped taking business for the last couple of months. So I get my systems together, but I am on track for this 6-figure year, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because I love taking women up. So the thing about it is, in order for you to come up, women think you have to do more to make more money, and it's not true. You have to energetically get yourself sound so that you are leading, you are attracting, and you are earning from energetic alignment and not performance. Because performance is not sustainable, ladies. Not for you. You're not meant to hustle and do this and do that. That's why you're exhausted. That's why your cycles are terrible and all these things, but we're gonna really get into it. This live is also not for the leader who views her cycle as an inconvenience instead of intelligence. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. This is also not for the one who thinks flow means laziness or lack of ambition. The feminine is not lazy. I don't know where people get that from. The feminine is not lazy at all, okay? So let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm going to be honest. Hey, love, you probably mastered your schedule. You're probably really great and in sync with your strategy that you're doing for business. You mapped out your content, but your body is inflamed. And let me tell you something. Your business is only as good as the health of a CEO. Your business is only as good as the health of the CEO. And I say that to you because I know a lot of you don't have your business set up on automation so much to where you can afford to take a month off. Why? Why don't you have that set up now? See, if you don't have it set up to where you can take some time off because you're ill and you're not doing the best, but you still could be making money because your emails and different, you're doing it hard. You're doing it way too hard. Your body is inflamed. Your body is bloated. Your body is irritated. And she's tired of being ignored. Those are signs. Those are warnings that you're getting. Okay? Your nervous system isn't necessarily, I wouldn't say it's malfunctioning, but what I will say is that it's mutinying. Because you were not created to function like a machine. You were literally built to lead in waves. Do you understand that water is feminine? Do you understand that the earth is feminine? Water is one of the best descriptions when I love to talk about like just the feminine in general. Water is powerful. Water is chaotic. Water is calm. Water cannot be bullied, honey. Water will drown you, or water will support you in floating. That is the feminine. And what else is feminine is the moon. And what does the moon do? The moon controls the tide of the water. These things, you are heavily connected to these things as a woman. And because of your disconnection from these things and your connection heavily into society and what society is saying that you should be doing or how you should be performing, you are literally running on E. It's very dangerous. And I had a conversation with a woman yesterday about this, about the beauty standards of society. And you guys have kind of, for those who've been with me, you've heard me talk about this before. For many years, I didn't think that I was a beautiful woman. I thought that I was cute. I thought that I was cute. And I was like, but I didn't really see myself as a beautiful woman because I was judging myself based on societal standards and what society said beauty was. But when I deconstructed and disconnected from society and their idea of beauty, thank you, my love, that is when my beauty truly began to radiate. And it really began to radiate because I really started to love on me. I really started to invest in me and what made me feel beautiful. And what the reality of what women don't realize is that confidence is beautiful. And confidence is nothing but believing in yourself. But in order to believe in yourself, there has to be evidence of something valuable. So if you don't tap into that, you automatically disqualify yourself from the life that you could have because you don't think that you're worthy, or you don't think that you're this and you don't think that you're that. And it's very dangerous because you're here to lead in waves, not operate like a machine, not just be out here just like, no, that's not what this is. Okay. So let's get into it. A lot of women that come to work with me, they tend to have sometimes cycle issues due to consistent performance and the things that they've been through. So it's like they come to me, it's like, okay, you're bleeding, you're inflamed, you're extremely anxious, but not necessarily because you're broken, but because your body is rejecting the structure that you're trying to force on it. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. When I was working in corporate and I was working for the state, I was going bald innocent on my head. I was 100 pounds heavier and I was severely hormonally imbalanced. I was eating on the fly because I had to kind of work, eat, and go. I was really stressed. I wasn't really sleeping the best. I wasn't in the best relationship at the time. And so all of that was wearing and tearing on my body. It was very, very, very serious to the point to where you just could tell. Like, I remember, like, when I lost a lot of the weight, and I remember my brother saying to me, like, oh my God, you walk so much faster. I had no idea that I'd even started walking that slow. I had no idea that I was like really behind and that the weight was really weighing me down. And it really, really was, right? And I had to shift like massively. So here are a couple of questions that I had to ask myself when I started to come into cycle syncing and doing things for my business and what I needed for myself. And I asked myself, what if your business model is misaligned with your biology? What if waking up at 8 a.m. when you value taking your kids to school every single day, getting up at 8 a.m. to try to work on your business, or try to get up at 5 a.m. to work out because this person on TikTok said you should do this, when in reality you value dropping your kids off at school? Why are you not starting your day off at 10 a.m.? Why is your faith not so strong that you can make $50,000 in 4 hours versus you feeling like you need to work and exhaust yourself, miss out on time with your kids, miss out on all of this stuff because you're worried about getting money? You can't take the 9-to-5 mindset of getting money, which I explained to y'all is already the lowest level of money, into business. You have to go into business knowing that the money is there and it's up to you to price and position and market properly. It's up to you to make sure that your energetics scream confidence because you are sure that you get results. You understand what I'm saying? It is not a joke and it is not a game. You have to really get into this if you want to see massive results. You have to. You have to. Afraid about the changes that will record because of. Oh yeah, most definitely. That's going to happen. You're going to have the shifts and the changes that happen in your reality because you're changing vibrational states. If you make a shift in your life and nothing around you changes and you claim you changing, ain't nothing changed. When you are making a quantum leap, because anytime you are sitting on the vibrational state of fear in relationships, Little Miss Anxious Attachment Style, anytime you are sitting on the frequency of fear when it comes down to money, Little Miss I can't keep it in my hand, Little Miss Impulsive, Little Miss Emotional Eater, see, all of those things are rooted in fear. But when you make the quantum leap, from fear into the state of courage, you will realize that there are people ready and willing to welcome you because you were vulnerable enough to say that I need help and I'm climbing up, and there are people already on that space that have their hand waiting for you. You just got to lift your hand up. So when we're talking about making a jump from fear into the state of courage, you are going to, for sure, lose people. Most people are scary as hell. See, let's really get into it. Most people ain't finna get their dream life. Most people scary as hell. Most people not finna get their dream life because they don't have the work ethic, and most people lack the devotion necessary to get it done, to see it to its end. Put me in a room with 100 people, I guarantee you 97% of them, 97 of them ain't finna bust a grape. You got a strong 3 that's probably finna take initiative, and it's probably gonna be 1 at the end who actually fully completes it. This is why it seems like you are the one in your friend group who has all the knowledge. They always come to you. It's always something, but you can't seem to get ahead because you won't leave the room. You won't leave the room. You won't leave the room because you are afraid of coming up by yourself. You are afraid of what they're going to think of you when they are sitting down still on the frequency of fear, watching you come up to courage. You know what's going to happen? It's the same thing that most people try to humble you. When they don't want to see you come up, what they do? Try to bring you back down. It's very simple. A lot of women experience this when they are in relationships that are not in alignment with them. The minute you become and you start growing successfully and you start doing the things and getting the things that you've been desiring, when the person that you are dealing with does not have anything going, they're not focused on their growth, they're not focused on their elevation, they make it their responsibility to humble you, to knock you back down. Oh, you got courage? Let me put you back down to fear. Let me remind you of who you are, and let me see if you're going to fall back down here with me. Because energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transferred. That whole thing when people say, you trying to ruin my day, some people are trying to ruin your day because they understand that energetics transfer. But if you don't understand how to block energy, because you are solidified in your own, then you will consistently be having this battle back and forth. We miss this. You need to be asking yourself, what if your business model is misaligned with your biology? Is the work that you are doing or the aligned monetization path that you are on, is it making you stressed and sick? See, let's tell the truth. Is it making you stressed and sick? Little miss, I want to stay up all night long, DIY, and do my business and work and hustle and doing that. Is this really supporting you or serving you, or is it making you stressed, stagnant, and sick? You really need to ask yourself. The reason why a lot of women are struggling, even in their 9-to-5s, is because you are not on the aligned monetization path for you. You were sold a dream by society. You believed the dream. You got suckered into a nightmare, and now you feel like you're stuck. Well, you're not stuck. But the only way out of a societal system that is intending to keep you to be a slave is for you to spiritually submit to the one that has created you, so that you can, because I'm gonna tell you something, the only way out of the matrix is spiritual. It's spiritual. The way out of the matrix is spiritual, because it requires higher thinking and a higher level of belief, and you will only go high as your thoughts. You will only go as high as your thinking. You will only expand as wide as your circle. So who keeping you small? Who got their thumb on your neck? You. You are doing this to yourself by sitting in a space and believing that you can't create a brand new reality. Oh, that's because you don't understand spiritual law. What was the first thing I said again? If you want to thrive on this earth as a woman, you need to understand spiritual law in order to create a new reality. The second thing that you need to understand is the science of yourself. And I did not give you the third, but let me go ahead and give it to you. It is for you to understand the psychology of your generational lineage so that you don't repeat things. Because I know a lot of you went to therapy for a long time and you got your degrees and everything, you got your money. And I know you think you better than your grandma or your mom and them because they used to do all these things, but you are still a lemon from the lemon tree. And if we put a little pressure on you, lemon juice is coming out. You are not above. I told you what the lady said in Doctor Strange. Sweetheart, we don't defeat our demons. We learn to live above them. This is why you hear people who are addicts say things like, once an addict, always an addict. Because there's always an opportunity. There's always that internal, that's like that wonder, that. And when you don't understand it and you don't acknowledge that and you think that you are above that, that makes you an easy target for your demons. When you think you can ignore them, when you think that you can you're smarter than them, okay, that's when you get got. That's when you get got, because you don't understand. The next question I ask myself in that space is, what if your creative block isn't a mindset problem, but a womb intelligence response? Hello, somebody. What if your creative block is not a mindset problem, but a womb intelligence response? Do you understand that your womb is a wealth creation station? You don't just create children there. Children are not just formed there. Okay? Your womb is a wealth creation station. There is a part of one of the phases of your cycle where there's a connection between your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, and your ovaries. And when you understand that axis and you understand your energetics, you can use that energy to expand your mind heighten your mind, your thinking, your creativity during each time of the month at a specific time. This is what I taught my client and what she uses to continually manifest, which is why she is almost at $1 million in her business. All from knowing the science of how you operate. Yeah. Your brain expands. Y'all on here talking about ovulation, so y'all can go lay up and how horny you feel when you don't know how to take that energy and transmute it into some money. And then y'all got the nerve to be over here talking about how I get a man to give me some money. Not knowing yourself is really harming y'all. Not knowing yourself is really harming y'all. You're putting yourself in dangerous situations with men who are not stable, who are not secure for the games you're trying to play with them, all because you don't trust your own ability, because you don't know yourself to know that you are money. You are the value that brings forth money. But the problem is you haven't activated your inner muse. So nobody wants to invest in something that is giving nothing. Do you notice how people will pay high top dollar for artwork and it tends to double in appreciation? It tends to double with money. Do you understand that a muse is walking art? Do you understand that a muse is a source of inspiration? Do you understand that people can be inspired to invest in you, much like they are inspired by the art to invest in the art? Don't piss me off and y'all be talking about these. But y'all on here talking about ovulation, talking about these men. Y'all out here talking about, and I saw what I can't even get into it. And all y'all out here talking about some, y'all can't keep y'all cat together, that y'all got to go get on prep because you just got to have something, because it's too much to abstain. It's too much to protect your wealth creation station from toxic dumping, because you do understand that the more you lay down with that toxic person that you're dealing with, that they are making your womb a wasteland. Do you understand that? Why y'all out here buying the little TikTok thing where it's opening your legs? Oh yeah, because I gotta open my hips. You need to get rid of that stress and the men out them hips. See, you turn your womb into a wasteland because you don't understand what you have. You don't understand what you have. And you are constantly playing yourself, creating blocks that's not even there, picking up what other people putting down, thinking it's cute. Do you understand that toxic by definition means slow poison? How dare you call yourself slow poison? Or hey, maybe that's your thing, I don't know. But to slowly poison yourself is insane. It's the first sign that you are your own enemy. You are your own enemy. This is why when women come to me with all these victim stories about woe is me and what people have done to them consistently due to them not having boundaries and all these other kinds of things, I have to look them dead in the face and say to you, I have never seen a constant victim not be a bully first. I have never seen a victim who is consistently in a space where somebody is always doing something to her. I have never not seen it to where this particular person isn't a bully first. What do you mean? I'm not a bully. You a bully to yourself, because how dare you allow yourself to experience things like that? You are in charge of your time, your energy, your attention, and your presence. You don't know how to pull it back. You don't know how to call it back. You don't understand that when you are dealing with the masculine, you are dealing with natural exploiters, and you need to understand how to restrict, regulate, and revoke access. No, you don't know how to do that because you need them. I got to have them. The most confident woman is the secure woman, the woman who takes care of herself, the one she's poisoned. The one who gets invested in the most is the one who focuses on herself, who prioritizes herself. Like I told you, I'm not performing because there's always going to be somebody ready to perform. When you come over here, it's not child's play. I'm not for children. So you can't come over here and play. This is not that. And that comes with you not playing about yourself. See, when you don't play about you, nobody can play with you. And truthfully, nobody can play you anyway without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you simply aren't paying attention, because they are not that smart. They are not that smart that they fooled you. They really not. You fooled yourself. You fooled yourself because you saw things, but you ignored those things. And you have to be real with yourself about that. Okay? So let's get into that space. Like I said, what if your creative block is not a mindset problem? It's a womb intelligence response. It's saying we need help. Something is off. You ever laid down with somebody and then all of a sudden you feel drained? What you think they took from you? You just thought it was that great? You couldn't have thought that. You couldn't have thought that. But no, that's really what y'all think, because that's what y'all like to pride yourself on, how good your is. When the reality of the situation is, baby, that is a power source. That is a portal and a pathway. How dare you let peasants walk down your hallway? People who don't even deserve to look at you. You let them walk down your hallway to where your wealth creation station is, where your wealth is, and you wonder why we can't create physically and figuratively? Because it's holding everything that's being put down. And that's what you're not paying attention to. You were never meant to operate like a man in a suit. Stop playing these games. You were not built for that. Your brilliance is cyclical. Okay? Your body is literally divine technology. How dare you treat it so poorly? How dare you? How dare you come to this? Y'all done made me mad. How dare you come to this earth? Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. And live beneath the life that the Most High has for you. How dare you come to this earth and devalue yourself to be in scenarios where you are not appreciated? How dare you slap the one that created you in the face like that? You have a godlike nature, godlike character, dominion, but you won't even step into it with your scary self. Worried about what somebody else gonna say. Don't want to step up and come into the fullness of yourself because you're worried about if a man is gonna like you. Do you like yourself? Do you? See, y'all be asking the wrong questions. I want to know if he likes me. I wonder if he likes me. Do you like yourself? Do you like yourself when you're around him? Okay? Because that's what matters. Y'all don't even be liking these people. That's really what be pissing me off. Y'all really don't even be liking these people. You like the way you feel with this person. You are the juice. You are the entertainment. You are the star, and you putting them on a pedestal? You were never meant to operate like a man in a suit, baby. Your brilliance is cyclical and your body is divine technology. Wake up. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Wake it up. Now let's get into estrogen real quick. Estrogen, creativity, and receiving. Estrogen is the receiving hormone. There is, when you look at breast cancer, it's normally an overload of estrogen. So if estrogen is the receiving hormone, and there's an overload in the body to where it can cause it to breast cancer, that means it's not a lot of releasing going on. It's not a lot of receiving going on. It's a lot of storing going on. There's also a link to cancer and unforgiveness. See, what women have to understand is that the reason why you cannot operate like a man in a suit is because scientifically, the way you were designed, when you feel things emotionally, one of my modalities is that I'm an energetic psychology practitioner. I can tell you how your emotions impact your organs. And what I can tell you is that if you have negative energy in motion that's constantly circulating, because that's what emotions are, energy in motion. If you have constantly anger circulating through your body, anger energy, eventually it's going to ruin your liver. You can go blind. There is a book by Louise Hayes called Heal Your Body. And in that book, she lists a bunch of ailments and illnesses and diseases and different things like that. And she lists the spiritual root of them. It's an excellent book. Okay? And when you think about a person who has diabetes, right? When you think about someone who has diabetes, it is an attack, slow attack that's happening on their organs. When a diabetic starts to lose their sight, okay, that means that we have damage to the liver. The liver is basically screaming, I can't supply nourishing blood to the eyes anymore. I can't supply nourishing blood to the eyes anymore. And so the eyes are unable to work properly. Okay? So I have seen a connection between people who are angry, that really like struggle with anger, that have developed diabetes to the point to where that they have gone blind. There is such a thing called blind rage. You literally can go and look this up. Your liver is responsible for over 300 functions in the body. Anger throws the liver out of balance. The liver is one of the 4 organs needed to have a healthy cycle. To have a healthy cycle. And this is coming from someone who had an irregular cycle for 21 years. Now I have a cycle that's 3 to 4 days without no whole bunch of pain. And I'm 41. So when you are, what was I finna say? I lost my train of thought, y'all. We was talking about the cycle. What'd I say, y'all? Bring me back. Because every once in a while I lose my train of thought. What's the last thing I said before my cycle? And then I'm going to get back to this estrogen. Remind me, and I'm going to go over this estrogen. But anyway, estrogen, creativity, and receptivity. Estrogen is the receiving hormone. Liver anger. Okay. So yes, liver anger, how emotions cause disease, all of them. Okay, so that's what it was. So once the liver is out of balance, it's 4 organs that you need to have a healthy cycle. The liver needs to be functioning healthy. The kidneys need to be functioning healthy. The heart needs to be functioning healthy. And the spleen needs to be functioning healthy in order for the cycle to come. So if you are not having a cycle, I'm trying to tell you something without telling you something. One of those organs is off. Something is off. Unless you have gone in and you've had a hysterectomy, something. One of those organs is out of balance. And when one organ is out of balance, it throws the entire system out of balance. How do people come into the space of conception where you conceive? The heart and the kidneys have to be functioning well. Let me tell you the connection a lot of people don't catch with that, right? In order to, hear me, figuratively and literally, in order to create as a woman, whether it's creating a baby or creating an opportunity for monetary attraction, okay? You need to be functioning strong in the spleen. Worry is the emotion that weakens the spleen. So guess what? If you want to create opportunity, create money, you can't be worried about if it's going to work out. You can't be worried about how this is going to do X, Y, Z. You have to have full faith and trust. You can't be worried. That's number 1, because worry is going to weaken the spleen. And if you're worried, guess what you can't do? Create. You can't create physically, figuratively, or literally if the spleen is out of balance because you worry too much. And worry is a violation of spiritual law, because why? It tells you in scripture not to be anxious for anything. Because why would you be anxious for anything if all of your needs are supplied? Why would you be anxious for anything if you've never seen the righteous begging for bread? I know why, because you don't believe. And it is your lack of belief that is throwing your spleen out of balance. And once you throw that spleen out of balance, everything else is out of balance. So in order to create, we cannot be worried. In order to create, we cannot be grieved in the heart. In order to create, you cannot be stressed out, i.e. your kidneys. Little miss blood pressure raising up and down. Yeah. In order to create, the adrenals that sit on top of your kidneys that you're not trying to blow because you don't want to have to be on dialysis. Yeah, you need to be calm in order to create a new reality. Okay? So these are things you need to think about. All of those organs, they participate in the process of creation, not just physically, but creation here. Creation from here. And that is what women are missing. To conceive, the heart and the kidneys have to be functioning at strong levels. This is why some women struggle to conceive. Because the heart or the kidneys are not functioning at optimum level. There is creation, there is conception. So let's look at that again. If the heart is grieved, if you are stressed, you cannot conceive or receive the idea or the download that the Most High wants to give you because you are not calm enough to receive. So therefore, you miss the download because you're worried. You miss the download because you're stressed, because you're distracted by what you see and you're not rooted in what you believe. So when I say your womb is a wealth creation station, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. It's not a joke and it's not a game. You create wealth from there. Not just with the babies. That's why I say I don't like the way y'all try to make women feel terrible who don't have children. Some women are here to birth children. Some women are here to birth different things. And you ain't got no right, because at the end of the day, every woman here is here and has the opportunity to birth legacy. That is what we do. And if legacy comes into play in the form of a child, beautiful. If legacy comes in the birth of her business, beautiful. If legacy comes in the birth of her being able to create community around the world, beautiful. Y'all ain't got no business judging nobody. Y'all need to stay in y'all need to mind y'all business. Out here asking people, do you want children? Start asking people, do they want? Because see, and I saw this online, but it's a perspective shifter. Stop asking people, do they want children? And ask them, if you're really concerned, hey, do you enjoy family? Do you want a family? Because family looks different for everyone. There are people who have family who don't feel like they necessarily need children because they get the unconditional love in the family unit. Please, not all of us are here to give birth to physical children, but we are all here to birth something. And it is your responsibility to figure out what you are here to birth. Not worrying about what somebody else is doing. Not trying to make another woman feel small because she don't want kids. I respect the women. I respect the women who say they don't want babies because they don't want that responsibility. I respect that. I respect women who understand the intentionality, the accountability, and the responsibility that goes into motherhood, not having a child. Motherhood. Because it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother experience, which is why I didn't opt in. So the thing is this, you have to be honest and real with yourself and know yourself. And you have to make sure that things that you are doing are in alignment with yourself. You can't be out here performing. Having a baby with somebody when you don't want children is performing. Having a baby with someone and you don't want children is not only performing, but I'm going to take it deeper for you. You are literally performing a humiliation ritual on yourself when you do that. God, you are performing a humiliation ritual on yourself when you decide to perform for somebody else in any way. In any way. Let alone bringing a kid into it. My God. You are performing a humiliation ritual. Code switching, humiliation ritual. People pleasing, humiliation ritual. Why is it a humiliation ritual? Why do you keep saying it? Because when you get exposed, you're going to be humiliated. Because now they get to see that you ain't who you say you are. You're not what you portrayed yourself to be. And you're seen. I definitely believe in generational curses, which is why I said study the lineage of your, the psychology of your lineage in order to not repeat it. And the thing about it is, a lot of these generational curses that people thinking they need to break their family from poverty, when in reality, you need to break your family curse of low self-esteem. Because if you don't value yourself, I don't care what business you start. You ain't going to be able to keep your business because you don't value yourself. So people eventually are not going to value you. Eventually, they're not going to value you. So it does not even matter at all. So back into this estrogen creativity. Estrogen is your body's creative amplifier. Okay? When it rises, so does your brilliance. You think clearer, you speak bolder, you lead softer. Okay? But most women are launching when their bodies are asking to rest. Y'all are trying to work extra hard on y'all period when you're throwing your body out of balance. You got 4 phases in your menstrual cycle. Menstrual, follicular, luteal, ovulation, and then luteal. When you don't rest during menstrual, you throw follicular out of balance. If you're not resting during menstrual, I know you're not eating right for your menstrual. You're supposed to eat certain things because you're losing certain minerals and different vitamins and different things like that during the phases of your cycle. The reason why you can't keep that weight off or you can't get that weight off is because you're not eating in rhythm with your body because you don't know how. So all that meal prepping, all that ketoing you're doing, all that up and down, and all these things I'm telling you, I used to be up and down. I used to be the up and down queen with the weight, and baby, I lose 50 pounds, gain 60. Okay, it was me. So, but I was eating out of rhythm. I was resting out of rhythm. I was not resting at all. I was completely out of rhythm with my body. Okay? So a lot of women are performing when their system is literally asking for you to pull inward, to pull back. So I want you to ask yourself the following, because these are the things that I had to kind of ask myself. What if your sales slumps aren't about your strategy, but about your bleed? Why do you work? Why do you feel like you need to rush and work so hard during your cycle? Who taught you that? Who taught you to suppress your power? Who taught you that? Y'all be running around here talking about the blood has power and this and this and that. The blood does have power, which is why it tells you not to eat blood in scripture, because there is life in blood. So as you are releasing this aspect of life, you are really supposed to be releasing spiritually the things that don't belong, mentally the things that don't align, emotionally the things that have gotten attached. You're supposed to truly get rid of all of those things and release those things during that time, because you're already physically releasing. And why is it important to do that? So you can receive. Do you not understand that women, when they're on their cycle, that's when you're the most powerful? Y'all piss me off so bad. Pushing through when you're supposed to be in position to hear and to receive. But no, you want to push through, pacify with pills and do all these things. Cramps are a symptom. Cramps are a warning. Cramps are telling you you have cold energy in this body that is stuck, that is fighting to come through. That is the pressure. See, y'all don't know because you don't know yourself. And you not knowing yourself has you living beneath your value. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting to the one that created you. Because how dare you slap the Most High in the face? As gifted as you are, you have creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to Proverbs 8 and 12. What do you mean you can't hold this money? What do you mean you can't consistently keep it coming in? That makes no sense. What reality are you in? Or most importantly, what reality are you creating for yourself? Second question, what if your launch fatigue isn't resistance, but it's hormonal misalignment? Do you understand that taking birth control throws your attraction center off? Dun, dun, dun. Do you understand that when you're taking birth control, you might think you're attracted to something that you're actually not attracted to because there is a false hormone within your body that's impacting your brain? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you didn't know? Huh? Yeah. Whole pheromones thrown off. Swear you like him. I've talked to thousands of women. So many women who have said they didn't even realize they were having a problem until they got off birth control. They didn't even realize the shift in how they were, because they had been on birth control since they were 13, baby. Get off at 30 and you like, what? I was the problem all that time? That stuff does things to you. It throws the body completely out of balance. You don't need to hack your calendar. You need to listen to your current. You don't need to hack your calendar. You need to listen to your current. You know why they say the full moon brings out the crazy people? Because the moon controls the tide, and people think that the tide and the moon has nothing to do with people and has no impact on people. I'm sorry, but what's the percentage? Can anybody say it for me and put in the comments? What's the percentage? How much of your body is made up of water again? How much water is your body made up of again? And if the moon controls the tides of the water, and you don't believe that, why is it when most hospitals, when there's a full moon, it just seems like they get more patients? These are things like you can ask nurses. You are supposed to be in the space of understanding your wave, your current. There's a 25% increase in verbal fluency, confidence during ovulation, yet most women try to push during a bleed. Y'all didn't even know that you're not supposed to have certain conversations during certain phases of your cycle. If you mad at somebody, it's probably not the best for you to talk to them during certain phases of your cycle, but y'all don't know how to hold your tongue. You don't know how to hold tight. You don't know how to hold tight. You just got to say what's on your mind, not realizing that you're not balanced enough to speak. Not balanced enough for you to speak. But that's because you're disconnected from your core. You don't get it. You're not inconsistent. You're intelligent, but your body really doesn't even need fixing. It needs reverence, sweetheart. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. It needs reverence, acknowledgement. And the thing about it is, in week 4 of the Muse Activator, that is what we focus on. We don't just help you sync your cycle. Excuse me. We don't just help you sync your cycle. We rebuild your leadership from it. The reason why women are stressed or exhausted and all over the place when they're doing their work is simply because they're operating and working out of rhythm. I don't work a lot of days during the week. When I was working almost 7 days a week, I was 100 pounds heavier. Like I said, going bald in the center of my head, and I was hormonal. The way I work now, it is very in tune, very in flow with me. And I make more money now. I've built a 6-figure plus business from the ground up. I've made literally almost $200,000 just being online from these apps without actually getting in any creator fund, right? Literally just from being out there, speaking my message, operating from a space of positioning, pricing properly, and making sure that my message is sharp and it's rooted in integrity and truth. And the people who resonate with that, they invest. I don't work against my design. I make more money now than I did when I was working. And I got a master's and a bachelor's, and they were insulting me, paying me 30-something thousand. And I had some doctoral work. Why was I sitting up there in that space working for chump change? Because I believe that's what I had to do. Go to college, get a good job, and do this. It's a government job, and at least you got benefits and this and that. Literally letting these folks tax on my soul to meet their goals while I'm not hitting none of mine. A disgusting trap. The corporate system was set up for people who lack spiritual practice. Because if you know who you are and whose you are, you don't have to submit to a system for a low life salary. Because they always paying you cheap. You are never going to be paid your true value that you are providing in any of those type of experiences. Because they are breaking your back to make what it is that they want for themselves. That is the business model. The one at the top, effect. Because the ones at the bottom are the worker bees. Pick your position. You either gonna master self or you gonna be a slave. And I'm telling you what I know. You are either in this life, and it ain't just easy to master yourself. You are either going to master yourself to create the reality that you want to have, or you are going to be mastered in this life. Take command or be commanded, baby. One or the other. Said I was making $87,000 in government, no degree, mentally unfulfilled. Absolutely. When you have to make sure that you choose the aligned monetization path for you, because that is unique for everyone. But see, the world has trained us, a lot of us, especially the millennial generation, to go to school, do this and do that and do that, and which is why the millennial generation feels very gypped We feel very gypped from the adult experience because we watched our parents have houses and do this and do that and yada yada yada, and here it is our time, and what? Ain't no money. Everything $1 million. So there is the mourning of that reality that you thought was real. It is so vital and so important that you really, really understand the importance of receiving. And a lot of women have asked me, what is very important right now in this season? Right now, what's important in this season is for you to be able to hear. If you can hear, you can do. If you can hear spiritually, you'll be able to do. If you can't hear spiritually, if you can't receive spiritually because you're too clogged up, that is a problem. Okay? That is a problem. Your hormones are not optional, ladies. They're not optional, okay? They are literally your energetic GPS. And when you override them, you override power. When you override your energetic GPS, your hormones, you override your authentic power. And that's why a lot of women think force is power, which is why you do more hoping to get more. You do more for that man and he still ain't picked you. You do more at that 9 to 5 and they still ain't gave you no raise. You do more for your family and they still not grateful. What are you doing more for? What are you doing this for? Seriously. You are not listening. You are overriding and you are not empowered. So in that space, you really, 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 really have to think. You have to think. Like I said, I had a client too who came into, because we talked about how in week 4 we go through all of this. So I had a client who came to me. She was struggling. Her mom had passed away. And so she was struggling with hormonal acne, like really, 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 really bad. And it was impacting her confidence. She just wanted to feel at home in her body. She just wanted to feel at home in her body. So it was impacting her energy, her confidence, her ability to show up and really feel very present in her life. Within a few weeks, we synced her routines with her cycle. I gave her exactly what she needed to eat during her specific cycles. I explained to her the importance of rest during specific phases of her cycle. And not long after that, guess what happened? She manifested a whole new space, baby. She moved to a new city. She was able to release some forgiveness that was locked in her womb. And as soon as she unlocked that forgiveness, her skin cleared up. And then she started meeting people, started meeting romantic partners and business people who were all connected in this space, in this new town that she had just moved to. Your external reality is the reflection of your internal reality. And that is what you don't realize. She started letting herself be seen again because she dealt with the energetics on the inner. Not because she fixed herself, but because she finally stopped fighting her rhythm. And a lot of you need to stop fighting your rhythm and stop performing. This is what it looks like, or the results or the symptoms that end up coming from when you are operating in this space. You're trying to work through cramps. You're trying to work through brain fog. You're trying to work through fatigue. You're shaming softness because you feel like it's lazy. You're shaming slowness. You're shaming sensitivity because you're not being authentic and honest. And you're structuring your business around productivity instead of resonance. And that's the problem. Your womb is not a liability. It's a creative GPS. Suppression is not a strategy. Suppressing your emotions and doing all that is not strategy. It is slow, energetic death. There's no fun way for me to put it. See, now I'm going to go back to the spiritual aspect of this. Choose your master. Because it tells you in John 10:10 that the enemies come to steal, kill, and destroy. The Messiahs come to give you life and give you life abundantly. You are either going to choose your birthright of abundance or self-destruction. Because you literally are going to become your own, working against yourself, your feminine design, all of those things, right? What ends up happening is that you become your own enemy because you steal your own joy. There's no joy in not being yourself. There's no joy in trying to keep the peace and not keep it real. There's no joy in wearing a mask. There's no joy in people pleasing. So you become your own enemy. You steal your own joy, which kills your confidence until you self-destruct. Choose your master. You are either going to master yourself or you are going to be mastered in this life. Ask yourself, what would marketing look like if it was womb-led? What would your offers look like if they honored your inner wave? What would that really look like and feel like? You can be lit up by your mission and still be betraying your body. You can love what you do and still resent how it's structured. Burnout isn't about doing too much, because a lot of people think that. It's really not. It's not about doing too much. It's about doing what's misaligned with your inner rhythm. You weren't designed to work at their place. That's why you got burned out and got exhausted. But you didn't want to see that because you was chasing the money. This is why it tells you in scripture that the love of money is the root of all evil, because you will sacrifice yourself for it. Money itself is not good or bad or good nor evil. It's your love for it. It's the way that you will exhaust yourself for it. It's the way that you will scam, betray, and maneuver for it. That's the problem. That is the issue at hand. And we are missing that. A lot of us are truly missing that. Like I said, burnout doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from being misaligned in your rhythm, with your rhythm. Your passions will soon become poison when your nervous system is constantly in performance mode. I'm going to say that again. Your passion, the one thing that you loved. I love baking cookies. It's so great. Da, da, da. But next thing they know, they told you to turn your hobby into money, and now you're baking cookies for everybody. Now you hate it. Because what you had a joy for, which was not supposed to be monetized, but was supposed to be an experience, you listened to the wrong person and you tried to monetize it. So now you are out here performing, baking 50 million things, and now you hate baking. You hate cookies. You don't want to see a cookie at all. Your passion will literally become poison when your nervous system is constantly in performance mode. This is why passion is not enough. You need pattern recognition. That is something I'm very skilled at. It is a gift. All praises to the Most High. You need rhythm. See, I can teach you to get in tune with your pattern. You know when something is off. You know when something is off. I'm going to tell you how real it is for me in being in tune with my body. You know, a lot of people will say, and you've heard people say things like, butterflies in the stomach is a sign of love. Well, in reality, butterflies in the stomach is actually a warning signal. And I'm going to tell you about a time that I had an experience with someone where I was with them and we were, together about 2 years. Hey, my love. We were together about 2 years. And I had never gotten the butterflies, right? I had never gotten a warning. And one day, his name came across my phone and I felt this in my stomach. And I tilt my head when I felt it. See, when you become so in tune with yourself, y'all be thinking that butterflies is something that you find out in the beginning. No, baby, your body will warn you in the front, in the middle, as soon as something happened. It's all of that. So I'm just getting this in my stomach. I'm like, So I talked to the person. I'm just like, whatever. But I noticed that I felt that. And then the person called me again the following day, and I felt it again. And I said, okay, something is wrong. Something is off. Something has happened. And I am being alerted that something has happened. And I am being alerted that I need to protect myself. Come to find out, that individual was doing something that they didn't need to be doing that ended up coming out 2 days later. Your body recognizes danger a long time before your mind even catches up to it. Y'all think y'all be tripping, when in reality that is a gift and you not listening. See, the one thing about me and where I am in the stage of my life, when I feel that warning on the inside of me, I know I'm not crazy. Ain't a gaslighter in hell, do you hear me, that could look at me and tell me what I'm sensing on the inside of me is not a reality, and a part of my reality, and something that involves me that regards to danger. And what I'm not going to do is ignore it, because nobody can play you without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you simply are not paying attention. And a lot of you are simply not paying attention because you are not in tune with your body. When you become synced, you feel everything. But you also understand the power of restriction, regulation, and revoking access in order to keep your energy to yourself and put it where it belongs. You will not burn out because you're doing all this stuff. You are burnt out because of your beliefs, and that is what needs to be shifted. You need rhythm integration. You need recovery built into your rise. Okay? Because it's just not happening. You're not flaky. Okay? You're not inconsistent. You're not self-sabotaging. You're cyclical. Nature is unpredictable. Nature is feminine. You are literally sacred rhythm wrapped in skin, and your body's resistance, that's not laziness, that's wisdom telling you. Okay? So if you are inflamed, if you are foggy in your mind, if you are resistant, it's not necessarily sabotage, it's the sacred intelligence. It's your body trying to protect your genius, trying to warn you. Trying to warn you. You don't need a new planner, you need a new blueprint, one your body helped design. And this is what we cover in week 4 of the Muse Activator. I have signed officially 4 women into the Muse Activator as of last week. I have one more spot before the price raises. The price point is $9.97. You can get it with Client Affirm and Afterpay. It is a 6-week program, a complete nervous system recalibration. Okay? Where we get you all the way together when you first come into the gate. We are dealing with your energetics and nervous system recalibration so you can receive everything I'm trying to tell you. You want to make more money? This is the spot for you. If you want to attract better, if you want to lead, earn, and attract from energetic alignment, this is going to be the space for you. Because in week 4, what we do is that we align your business model to your biology. $9.97 with Client Affirm and Afterpay. We align your biology with your business model. Your business model with your biology. We restore the flow state from the root. Okay? So this is what we do specifically during that week. We design work cycles that honor your hormones and your inner seasons. Okay? We repattern your rhythm to match your feminine nervous system. We reclaim your womb as a creative oracle and messenger because your womb is sending messages. Okay? Not a burden. So if you want more on the Muse Activator and you want to join the program and you want to get it, then DM me the word activate. I am going to send you the link. When I send you the link, it is going to expire within an hour because I am assuming that you are prepared to pay. Once you pay, you're going to get your email with your contract. Okay, within 24 hours. You get your contract, you sign your contract. 24 hours later, you're going to get your pre-work. Okay, you have 7 days of pre-work before we bring you into fully integrated into the community. The reason why that pre-work needs to be done is because everybody needs to be on the same frequency when they walk through the door. There is a standard and there is a essence and there is a presence when I am doing the work that I do with the women I'm doing it with. And these women are very high caliber, they're very high performing, and they are eager and they are ready. So it's not for play. But if you want to create the reality that you truly desire, send me the word activate. Okay? So that you can get the link to be able to take care of that. All right? DM me the word activate, sweets. You got to send it to me in a DM. Okay? Here's the other option if you're wanting to work with me. If you are struggling energetically, let's say you have a business and you're not hitting 5 figures a month yet. Okay? And you're trying to figure out how you can hit 5 figures a month, what that could look like, and you want to scale up, then click the link in my bio and grab the feminine sales strategy session. Those are $297. Okay? We're going to get on a call. When we get on our call, first you're going to take a quiz. You're going to take the quiz to exactly see where you have this block energetically that's blocking you from making 5 figures a month. Okay? Once you do that quiz, you're going to email me your results, and because at the end of that quiz, you're going to get a link to schedule your appointment. Once you schedule your appointment, you're going to email me your results from your quiz. We're going to get on the phone. We're going to get on Zoom. We're going to work out your plan of how you're going to collect this 5 figures a month, because I need you to hit your 5 figures a month. Okay? It is not difficult for you to do. It's about pricing, positioning, and proper marketing. If you are interested in that offer is only, the session is going to be about 30 to 45 minutes. You can click the link in the bio. You can pay for that. Those are $297. You're going to get an email after that, with the quiz, you take the quiz, and once you take the quiz, email me the results, and then we're going to have our session for whatever date that you picked. Because at this point in time, you don't need to be making 3 figures and 4 figures in your business. I've already talked to you guys about how I took one of my clients from $250 that she was charging a month for a service that she shouldn't have been, to making $8,200 to $9,500 consecutively every single month, until she had to stop because the money was coming in too fast. And that's another thing. If you don't have your system set up when you come to work with me, which I can support you in doing that as well, you may get an overflow and you can't handle and hold the money. So all these things have to be set up. You need internal systems and external systems that are set up for you so that you can hold the type of money that you're wanting to make. Okay, so if you're wanting a feminine sales strategy session, click the link in the bio. You're going to see feminine sales strategy session. Click on that. Pay the $297. Yes, you can get a recliner firm and afterpay. What else I was going to say? And the last thing is, a last option is, if you are a CEO and you're exhausted, let's say you created a business before, or you've been in business and the money is just kind of not doing, you're having an issue. There's a kind of like a block in between you and the type of money that you want to make, okay? Or there's a block between you and receiving. What you can do is click the link in the bio and get access to the free, and this is just for CEOs, people who have businesses, or people who have started businesses and they don't want to burn themselves out. They understand that they don't receive well. If you struggle to receive compliments, if you get a compliment and immediately you have to throw it off, and somebody's like, oh my God, thank you, you look so great too, out of being polite, or if you say, oh my God, girl, this old thing, I'll do this. If you can't receive something as simple as compliments, if you can't receive help, if you can't receive, you have an issue with vulnerability, and there's a block in your receiving chain. So you're not going to be able to receive money either. So you need to clear it up. And this Soft Power Reset series in this email is going to help you clear it up. Because what's going to happen is this. You're going to learn how to regulate your energy. But if you're not a writer, don't get into it, because you have to journal. You have to write these things out. You have to make it plain. So what you're going to find out when you get that offer over the next 4 days, you're going to get an email every single day. The first one is going to support you in regulating your energy so success stops feeling unsafe. You're going to figure out and reclaim clarity. And at the end of the cycle of overfunctioning, that's what you're going to stop doing. You're going to learn to start leading with your authentic self and not against it, and actually rewire how you receive, okay? So your body can hold more with less. So you would click the link in the bio, fill out the form to get access to the emails. It's going to be about 4 days. We're going to see the emails every single day. For about 4 days, you're going to write those things out, and by the end of that, you will have those results, okay? So you can get the Soft Power series. You can book a $297 session with me for a feminine sales strategy session, or you can come into the Muse Activator. The Muse Activator is the 6-week program. I only have one more spot for that because I closed 4 ladies into the program last week. So I only have one more spot for that before the price point goes up to $1,500, because it is going up to $1,500. These women are going to be recalibrated. These women are going to be making young moolah baby, okay? I have one of my amazing clients who's coming back. She's coming back. This is her 5th time coming back to me, because the first time she came to me, we reversed her liver damage and she lost 42 pounds. She synced in with her cycle and she stopped drinking. She had a bit of a drinking problem. So she corrected her A1C as well. So that was the first time when she came to see me. The second time when she came to see me, she was able to secure funding for a rental property that she didn't really know what she was going to do with, because she got an energetics right. The third time she came to me, she was signing up to step into the fullness of embodiment so I can help her create a product. And as she signed up for me, she got 5-figure funding. So now she's back again, and she's created the product and service that she's going to put out there. And now she's getting her energetics together so she can collect that cash flow. So she's coming into the Muse Activator. She's made a lot of money so far with us working together. And I love that for her. I love that for her. My amazing client Kendra is on here as well. Kendra is absolutely amazing. She's a plant-based neuropath strategist. She's absolutely amazing. She has a 6-week program that will support you in getting your body back in balance. And when I tell you, me and Kendra have been working together for a while, and Kendra literally, when I was talking about closing her client, she closed her first high-ticket client recently, I think 530, after we met on 5/7, and I think, when did I sent you that quiz on 5/15? So she worked the quiz, and that quiz is the quiz that's in Monetize Like a Muse, that teaches you how to find specifically your authentic gifts and the things you have on the inside of you, so that you can monetize a skill set ranging from $10,000 to $100,000. So if that is your goal, to make your first $100,000, that quiz really supports you in streamlining on how you're going to get there. So Kendra used the quiz on 5/15 to kind of streamline some things. We had a meeting on 5/7, and she literally closed her high ticket client on 5/30, baby. That was 2 weeks. Okay, 5/15 to 5/30, baby. That was a good 2 weeks. So it really supported her. So getting Monetized Like a Muse, you can click the link in the bio to get access to that, so you can get that quiz. And she closed her clients really well. So yeah, I'm excited, because all the women in my circle are winning. Everything that's attached to my obedience wins. Notice I didn't say anything that's attached to me, child, because it ain't me. It's the Most High. Okay. So, yes, girl, Mariah, girl, Kendra got this client, girl. Got up out of there and got this client. She texted me, girl. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God. And it's the crazy part, because me and Kendra had that meeting on the 7th. And Kendra, what I say? The first thing I said, okay, so what's your numbers? How much money have you made this far with this? And I was like, I don't like that. We need to get you more money. Literally, I was like, okay, I don't like that. We need to get you more money. I need you to come up to this. So this is how we're going to do this. This is how this can go. And here, go ahead and use this quiz, because this is going to help you refine it out. And she did exactly what was given to her. And boom. So now that she has her high ticket client, and that's the thing, confidence builds as soon as you get your 1. Now it's like, let me get my 2, let me get my 3, let me get my 5. Okay? And all these things come from you simply just being in alignment, getting yourself in a space of alignment energetically and refining. She didn't have to do a whole bunch of relaunch. She didn't have to tear her business down and start over. She needed to refine. That's it. And once she refined, and that clarity, because clarity is command. See, when you're clear, it commands the spirit to move. Period. And the reason why a lot of people are not commanding is because you're not clear, baby. You're not clear. Okay? It does build. I can't wait to say. Yes, and Mariah is one of the ones who recently joined the Muse Activator. So she is one of the 4 that signed up last week. Girl! Mariah! Girl, I'm finna start crying. Okay, hold on. All praises to the Most High. Oh, Mariah, oh my God. Oh my God. Girl. Okay, y'all give me like once a freaking quarter with crying. Jesus. Okay, get myself together. Girl, I can't mess with the white girl. Jeez. Oh my God, Mariah, I'm so excited. Girl, okay, did you get your contract too? Because I sent your contract. Girl, I cannot wait for our one-on-one. Oh my God. I sent your contract. Girl, I cannot wait for our one-on-one. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Y'all, Mariah has been working her tail off. When I tell you, Mariah was in my other program, and she had been following me for a while, and she had got another course. But like Mariah, girl, I'm toe up. Hold on. Y'all, Mariah has done so much work. I love when my clients come in and I get to see what they want. And I get to hear like what they truly desire for themselves, and to see them like achieve these things and to become more confident and step into the fullness of themselves and really exhibit like magnetic muse energy. It does something to me spiritually. I am so blessed to do the work that I do. I am so blessed to do the work that I do. And I am eternally grateful to the Most High, because a lot of times I'd be like, Lord, you know I'm crazy why you gave me this assignment. Okay? But I am so grateful, and I have so much gratitude in my heart when I see things like that. 20 pounds, Mariah. Girl, Mariah been doing her. Girl. Okay, I'm done. What questions do y'all have for me? Because y'all not going to get me caught up. What questions do you guys have for me? Drop your questions in the comments. Yes, drop your questions in the comments. Any questions about anything I talked about today? Any questions about any products or services? Y'all, that made my day. Y'all, I was having such a weird morning before I talked to my best friend this morning, and I was telling her that. And when I got off the phone with her, I just, grounded myself again, because I have to ground myself before I go live. Because it takes a lot for me to go live, because I'm a very private person. I'm a very to myself. And so I grounded myself, and I just was like, I'm coming on and I'm just giving what I'm supposed to give. And I am just so grateful. So thank you for sharing that, Mariah. That really made my day. That really, really, really made my day. I love it. 20 pounds? Girl! Oh my God. I'm so happy. Y'all, I'm so happy. Okay. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. Girl, Mariah. Girl, wait till we, girl. I'm gonna see you the link so you can schedule your one-on-one. Cause I'm so ready for the women that's in the Muse Activator right now. Because these women right here, it's something about this class that's coming out, that's gonna come out of them. This particular round of the Muse Activator is some hitters. And she one of them. And I'm the type of person like this. See, I used to coach girls for 10 years. I coached dance and I coached girls into women. And so I'm one of those type of people. I have the eye of the underdog, because I was the underdog, and I know it when I see it. And when I tell you in this class, in the Muse Act, I see it on all of them. On Mariah, on Mafusa, on Quintera, on Shantae. I see it on them. And when I tell you, if you want some in it, y'all better get that last spot. I don't know who it's going to, but it's going to somebody, and I feel like it's gonna happen this week. This finna be the dream team right here. This 5, cause they all ready. And ain't nothing like when you ready and you trust me, and I'm moving and trusting the Most High. I'm gonna take you exactly where you're supposed to go. So I am so grateful. The program is $997. And you can get it with Klarna Firm and Afterpay. And you DM me the word activate to get access. Someone asked me about the magnetic blueprint course. The magnetic blueprint course specifically, you're going to get a couple of different courses in there. It's going to help you expand your availability and your capacity for intimacy and income. So it's going to address your love issues and blocks that you may have. It's going to address your money issues and blocks that you may have. Okay? So specifically this, and also spiritual blocks that you may have. So this is what's in the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. You get Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup Masterclass. That's the masterclass that Delilah took, and within 24 hours, she had 5 new clients, and within 10 days, she had 9 new clients total. From that one class, Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup, you're going to learn to rebuild spiritual clarity and emotional stability, and remove the silent drains on your magnetism and your wealth capacity. That's the first course that's in there. The second course that's in the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is Wealth Alchemy, going from regulation to riches. You're going to learn how your nervous system controls your cash flow, how to master techniques to wire your body for sustainable wealth creation. Third class you're going to get is the Love and the Nervous System Masterclass. It is going to expand your leadership and relational energy by creating emotional safety within yourself first. If you struggle to receive intimacy, you probably, are struggling to receive income, because those two things are connected, okay? The third course you're going to get is the power of your feminine design. You're going to show you how to activate your feminine codes that turn on influence, attraction, and leadership in the state of being, not performance. And you're also going to get the course Get Passively Paid, where you're going to strategically learn how to set up income channels aligned with your feminine energy so your money multiplies while you remain rooted, regulated, and magnetic, okay? And there also is a bonus course in there with Intelligence to Income Masterclass. Intelligence to Income Masterclass is the class that my client Rocky took, that took her from $250 when we had our session to getting up to $14,000 in offers in less than 30 days. So the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is going to activate your codes for intimacy and income. So if you are struggling or have blocks in that area, it is perfect. It's $200. You can get that with Klarna, Firm, and Afterpay as well. Okay, sounds like an amazing course. I have to pass through the financial committee. Completely understand. Okay, what questions do you guys have for me, if any? What questions? What questions? You're welcome. If any, before I get ready to let y'all go. I got to go make me something to eat. I had a good workout today. So I worked out some good calories. So I'm about to eat. I work outside, child, so I can eat me something good. I'm eating something good today. I dreamed, so I can eat me something good. I'm eating something good today. I dreams a part of your body telling you something is up. Dreams are a portal. Dreams are a portal. Okay? Dreams. So I'm going to break this down really quickly. And I think I've done this before in another live, but I'm going to break this down real quick. When it comes down to dreams, one of the reasons why you should pray before you go to sleep, especially if you say that you are a believer. I got you, boo. I'm going to send you the link when you get off here. Or the link is in my bio too, I think. The reason why you should pray is to protect yourself, and so that you are very clear on the source of your dream. If you go to bed emotionally wrecked, you can have a dream from your emotions. There are 3 areas and aspects of where you're going to be dreaming. Dreams can have demonic roots, where we have those things going on. Dreams can have divine roots, and dreams can have emotional roots. Okay? In order to protect yourself and not drive yourself crazy by positioning yourself to believe something that may have come from your emotions or something that may have come from a demonic space, you are to pray to protect yourself, to ensure that the dreams and the visions and the things that are coming through your mind when you are in a state of rest, right? You want to make sure that those dreams and the messages that you are receiving are coming from a divine space. Okay? And the way you ensure that they're coming from a divine space is you ask for divine protection before you go into that state. So let's say you have a dream and you don't pray, which is also a portal. Prayer is a portal as well. So let's just say you don't open the portal before you enter into another portal. You don't pray before you go into the dream state. You run the risk of waking up if you had a dream that could have been rooted in your emotions, could have been rooted in demonic activity, or rooted in the divine. But because you didn't protect the portal, you didn't open it properly, right? You don't know where it came from. So you can position yourself to worry about something and worry yourself into sickness, or worry yourself into an experience that's not even real, because you didn't secure the premises before you started, if that makes any sense. So dreams most definitely will tell you what's up and tell you what's going on. But you have to make sure that you're very clear on the origin and the source, okay, of that dream. So understand, like I said, prayer is a portal. Your womb is a portal. Okay. Dreams are a portal. So these are things that you really need to pay attention to. So secure your portals and make sure that you are careful of who you give access to when it comes down to your portals. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense, right? And that explains. Let's see. Here's some other questions. Which one to give for the health issues and the weight? The only way you would be able to get access to that one is by coming into the Muse Activator. I don't think, and let me double check. I don't think in this one is the magnetism reset. No, the magnetism reset is not in here. I used to have a product on its own where I did teach that, but I don't have it anymore. I don't offer it anymore. So in order for you to learn the cycle syncing, like Mariah lost the weight and stuff like that, that's because Mariah worked with me directly. Women who, now this I can tell you for a fact. I have not had a woman, the women who have lost weight, I've had a client to reverse her heart damage, fix her A1C, reverse liver damage. My clients have lost, Mariah's lost 20. I have another client who's lost 42. I have another client who's lost 70. Okay. All of those women have worked with me directly. There is no course. Women who even taken the course to understand cycle syncing, if they don't work with me directly, then they normally don't get the results that they're looking for. Weight issues is mixed with constipation. Do you have iron issues? Because if you have iron issues and you take iron medicine, the prescription that they give you for iron, it makes you constipated. If you're constipated, it could be a multitude of things. It could be if you have IBS, or if you're stressed and you're worried all the time, you throw your spleen out of balance and it doesn't work with your stomach. So you have constipation, or you go to the bathroom and you might see small pebbles or something like that. I hate to be so graphic, but I'm just being honest. You clearly see that something is happening on the inside of your body. So it's a mixture. A lot of women don't eat enough fiber. As a woman, you should be eating between 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day to keep your body in hormonal imbalance. You should be going to the bathroom 2 and 3 times a day. And I'm not talking about number 1. I'm talking about number 2. And if that's not happening for you, then the body, I want you to think about it. If you're not releasing, you're storing. And imagine storing on top of storing, on top of storing, on top of storing. The body is going to get sick. The body can only do so much to protect you from illness. It's going to do everything it can because it's designed that way. But once it hits that limit, it hits that limit. Exactly, storing waste, and you wonder why you smell like that. For real, like we don't even realize it. You don't realize it, but it's the truth. So coming into the program, that'll support you with that because you'll have access to cycle syncing. You'll understand the things that you need to do as far as how you need to eat and all of that. Now, my higher program, which I haven't opened up fully yet, now that's the one. The Muse Activator is an excellent start. The Ascended Muse experience is going to be amazing because that's what we get into aura economics. That's when we get into the energy vetting system. That's for women who graduate from the Muse Activator if they want to go into that. See now, and the reason why that is important is because once you figured out how to scale to 100,000, you need to figure out that between 100,000 and 500,000, you got to do mirror work. And mirror work means checking the relationships around you, which require energetic vetting. And I have an energy vetting system. And it also requires aura economics. You need to be, when you start maneuvering, it's about your community and people around you at that level, so that you can sustain if you're trying to go up into 1 million. Community is going to be very, very, and relationships are going to be very, very important during that time, okay? So yeah, 1 or 2 times a week getting tested. I can tell you right now, I'll tell you this. You tell me if they tell you this when you go to the store. Go to your doctor. I'm assuming that they're probably going to tell you that you need to lower your stress. I'm assuming that they're going to tell you that you need to eat according to the food map. They're going to tell you a bunch of different things because what IBS actually is, again, is a syndrome, meaning that it's a collective of symptoms. It's a collective of symptoms, and they've classified it as irritable bowel, okay? But they're not really clear on the core issue. But a lot of times the core issue is the fact that you worry too much starting at the root. Because if you worry so much, you can weaken your spleen. You weaken your immune defenses. You weaken your spleen, and your spleen can no longer work with your stomach. And that's why you're having the constipation issues. It's because of the worry that is messing with the spleen. Because when you worry, that energetic goes to your T stem cells. And there's a study out there on this. It goes to your bone marrow, which creates T stem cells, which send those to your spleen, which throw your spleen out of balance, all because you worry. Spiritual violation, okay? I can eat green veggies and fruit and still not, yeah, because it's stuck. And anytime something is stuck, that is matter. And what is matter? Energy. So we need to get unstuck. My client who was having the hormonal acne is because things were stuck. But when she started to sync with her cycle, get herself together in that space, her skin cleared up, all of that. Okay? So the Muse Activator program is going to be that, because when we meet for our one-on-one, you tell me what I want to do is this. What I want to do is this, and I'm going to give you the plan to do that. So if you're interested in the Muse Activator, which is $9.97, you can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. Then DM me the word activate. I'm going to send you the link to pay. Your contract is going to come within 24 hours, and then you're going to sign your contract. You're going to get your pre-work, and you're going to come into community. I have one more spot at $9.97 before it goes up to $1,500. Mariah says, I was in a toxic relationship in 2019, and I was diagnosed with IBS, and now I'm healed. You better tell them. You better tell them. I be trying to tell folks. You better tell them. These relationships will really have it on you too. A toxic relationship will make your womb toxic. A fact, baby. A fact. For real. I love that. Congratulations. I love that, baby. Healed. Did y'all hear that? Healed. Meanwhile, they telling y'all there's nothing you can do about it. You can just sit around and you just have to, Yes. And she said, I'm not in a toxic relationship anymore. And yes, it would make you sick. Made me sick. That's when I knew my marriage was over. I said, oh, I'm starting to have stomach issues. Oh, he's starting to get sick too and have stomach issues. This is not okay. We are not okay. And it's okay. So let's deal with that. Okay? So, I'm not seeing any other questions. Let me scroll back up just to make sure. Thank you so much. The birds are back. I agree. I stopped beef and pork a while ago. Yep. I haven't eaten beef and pork in 20 years. That's another thing. When they diagnosed me with polycystic ovarian syndrome when I was 20, I stopped eating beef and pork. Then. That was 2024. 21 years now. When my cycle got regulated, I stopped eating chicken. See, a lot of y'all don't want to let that chicken go. A lot of y'all don't want to let that bird go, but that bird ain't right. They doing a lot of stuff to that bird and it's not proper. And too much of an overload of estrogen in your body is causing you problems because you can't let go of that bird. You do understand that meat is a luxury. You understand that, right? See, we got so used to growing up and eating it, got to have a meat in two sides. Meat is actually a luxury. How about that? Huh? But we so used to it, so we think that's just what, yeah. Okay? It makes a huge difference. Huge difference. So I love that. I love that. Chicken high keywords. It is. I eat a lot of lamb, though. I eat a lot of biblical meats. A lot of them. I lean a lot into lamb. So you'll see me make the mess out of a lamb something, baby. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm not seeing any other questions. Speaking of lamb, I'm gonna make me a lamb burger, and I make I got my little bun in there so I can make it from scratch. So I'm excited. Yes, I need to figure out what iron-rich protein to substitute meat with. Yes, most definitely, because low iron is a early sign of organ failure. We need to think about that. We need to think about that, okay? I'm still working on a bird, but I'm so glad I made it. Yes, girl. Okay. I'm still working on a bird, but I'm so glad I made it. Yes, girl. Anyway, it's totally a process. Like, I stopped eating the beef and pork, and I eat chicken now, but it's like here and there. I know when to, and that's another thing. Certain time phases of your cycle, you should not be eating chicken because your body's already producing so much estrogen, and you double down eating wings 3 times a day. Nope. But if you come into the Muse Activator, you'll learn. You'll learn specifically when it's more beneficial here, when this is more beneficial here. Okay? You can complete the magnetic wealth blueprint and schedule a one-on-one, or you can schedule a one-on-one. Okay? It's totally up to you. Wasn't as hard as I thought. Girl, I know. Because really and truly, once we find substitutions that are healthy, you're good. I love candy, right? But I can't have a whole bunch of candy, clearly. So I do things like, okay, let me make these dates, put almonds in them, dip them in dark chocolate, drizzle it with a little white chocolate. I want ice cream or I want a slushie. Okay, let me get a lemon and let me get some frozen fruit and let me get some agave and then make me Italian ice. See, these are the things. You just have to figure out like what is going to work best for you. I believe in finding what works best for you. Not necessarily that you have to give up everything, but you need to find your rhythm. And I've really figured out the flow of my rhythm and how I eat. And so I support my clients in finding their flow. Okay? All right, guys. I'm about to ready to go because I don't see any more questions. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing day. I'm going to shoot that link. I think someone was asking about the magnetic wealth blueprint. I'm going to check and see and send that. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Congratulations to those who will be coming, or whoever is coming into the Muse Activated, the last one. I'm so excited about these 4 ladies because this class is about to be lit. So it's supposed to be fun times, all right? I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing day. You're so welcome. Remember, self-care is the key fundamental of every single relationship, and you set the tone of how people treat you by the way you treat yourself, so you should treat yourself exceptionally well because you deserve it, okay? All right. Peace, y'all.